Alright, Weens is saying, I am so lost on why I am not keeping up and following. He did redeem the one-on-one session thing, so maybe we'll help him out. 400 horsepower, definitely more than most people. 400 horsepower, 90 adhesion on 205s is not a good combination. You're probably just, I can already tell you're probably just spinning your tires. Let's take a look. So let's check out his power and stuff like that. So he was boosted. Oh, he's running a little over 0.3. Okay, he might be running 0.3 exactly bars, or bar of boost. So as you can see, he's in third gear. I don't know what his third gear speed-wise tops out at, but he is like picking up in RPM in third gear on that corner. Which means he's losing traction, which means they're like look at that, he's like redlining in third right there. Which means he's just getting a lot of excess tire spin. So basically, Weens, you're not gripped up. That's why you're not keeping up. You're basically just constantly sliding. Excuse the cough. Oh, it's really coming down. I'm gonna have to take some vitamin C before I go to bed. But yeah, so what I notice right now is just like accelerating out of corners. You're not really accelerating much because of the lack of grip. So it, we've been watching Okeem pretty much all day. Let's just compare here. So yeah, it's much less horsepower, 333. Slightly wider tires as well on the 90 adhesion. Not much of a difference otherwise. But check this out. Oh, he's in fourth gear actually. Alright, his gears look crazy short. I don't even know if that's correct. But see how his see how the RPM is not just going all the way up to redline? See what's gripping up? It's descending even whenever he straightens up. That's because he's getting grip. Your goal in doing all this is you want to be in peak grip at all times. That's the whole point of drifting like this. Especially with low horsepower and stuff like that. So you want to you want to be really comfortable with your car. You want to be extremely comfortable with your car. You want to be able to know the moment your car is in peak grip and the moment that it's spinning too much and you're losing grip and you're not accelerating when you want to. You can take grip racing mentality into drifting in this manner when you're doing the low horsepower stuff. It's exactly where it came from. The whole point, if you know like the history of drifting and stuff like that, you'll know that they are drifting to get, you know, up and down the toge as quickly as possible and whatnot. So a lot of it does come from grip racing aspects. And yeah, if you just notice here, like straightening up to speed up and grip up basically is a pretty big factor in all this. You also want to accelerate and decelerate in as straight of a line as possible for the highest acceleration. Now let's check that back out. Oh, Beans is still pulled over. Maybe taking notes. Let's look at somebody else then, for example. So Gred, is he still going? Yeah, okay. Gred here with 259 horsepower. That's kind of a lot. How do I fix the grip problem? There are hundreds of ways to fix grip. I recommend just like checking out the channel a bit. Just so you can get a good grasp of how I adjust my cars, which should apply to everybody else as well. But for example, let me hop out of this. Let's go to our alignment and look at your camber. How much camber do you have in the rear? Closest is the 0, the flatter it is. The flatter it is, the more tread you have on the ground, which means the more grip you have peeling out of corners and stuff like that. Same with up front, same exact thing. If you have more camber, you have less grip. So keep that in mind. If you are running excessively high amounts of camber, then you are just simply, you're not, his camber's at -9. Yeah, so you have 9 degrees of camber. I don't know what your tire pressure is. Your tire pressure in the front is 90 kilopascals. So, I mean, you have low tire pressure means the sidewalls will flex more, which means you will get more grip up front. However, you have a lot of pressure in the rear, which means that your sidewall isn't going to flex as much. So it's not going to adjust with your camber as much, like your steering and stuff like that. Like it's not gonna wobble, I guess. It's not gonna flex. It's not gonna flex how you need it to. Whenever you turn your wheels, the cushion of air is not going to flex because there's just a higher pressure. It becomes more like a solid object than a fluid. Fluid mechanics. Actually, fluid and dynamics. Okay, so what else am I looking at here? Another thing you can do to increase grip, of course, is just purely throttle management. That's right. Okay, look at this. Like drag racing, even. So let me just fix this, bugs me. If I am high up in RPM and I dump clutch, look at that. I am leaving 11s. I am redlining. I am not gripped up. Now, let's compare that with just like a normal launch. We're gripped up and we are accelerating. We reached 63 kilometers an hour on the other one. We did not go nearly that fast because we are not gripped. Look at that. Look how long it takes to accelerate. Versus simply just being gripped up. And you don't have the full throttle or anything like that. Half the time I am like 3/4 or even half throttle when drifting and stuff like that, because I am looking at my RPM. All right, let's just do this. Okay, here's going to be a great example for you guys. Whoops, horrible example for you guys. I meant. So look at this. Okay, let me just commentate on my shifting for a sec. I'm in second gear, or my throttle, I mean. We're at like half throttle here because I'm looking at my RPM. I'm accelerating too much. I'm not accelerating. I know I make peak torque at 4,900 RPM, and I know my red line is at 7,500, but I'm in third gear right now. Oh shit, okay. Paying too much attention to the speedometer and not my line. Yes, so my suspension damping calculator is in the Discord, but yes, if you type ! Calculator in the chat, or you can go under the stream, go to my about page. I have hyperlinks to it and stuff. Sorry, I looked away. Yeah, that is where you can get the my suspension damping calculator. It is Google Sheets based, and what that's going to help with is keep your wheels on the ground. How do I explain this? Suspension damping is so important because there are so many bumps that you go over, and I recommend finding a pseudo home course. Like, for example, I like Mahon specifically for tuning suspension because the course is bumpy. There's tons of little curbs everywhere. You're gonna hit all those curbs, and it's going to either throw the car like this with really stiff suspension, or if you have a softer suspension. Wow, I didn't think we were gonna go through the building. If you have a softer suspension and a taller ride height that allows suspension movement, then you are going to be able to absorb the bumps much more easily. Another thing to note is that it's not just for bumps, it's also for just when your car squats and stuff like that. Suspension is a really important part of tuning for drag racing, and drag strips don't even have bumps, so yeah. It basically just will determine how your car will behave when given throttle, basically. And if you don't want to figure it out all for yourself, I already figured it out for you. You can just use my tuning calculator. It is set up by weight, white balance. I said weight balance. Pick the chassis, pick your desired spring rates. So if you want a softer setup, do 8 in the front, 6 in the rear, something like that. Stiff setup, whatever. You can do whatever you want. It tells you whenever you reach extremes and stuff like that, so just avoid extremes, I guess, and your car should handle pretty well. What else? Yeah, it's all about keeping grip on the road, man. If you're going too slow, straighten up. You don't need big angle for drifting. Big angle drifting is really a no-no. Especially when you think about like where drifting comes from. Getting up and down toge. So, all about being quick, being fluid. Remember the age-old saying, well, we were really following his line. The age-old saying is slow is smooth, smooth is fast. If you don't know what that means, basically, the smoother your inputs across the board, whether that's steering, your throttle, your braking lines, the way you transfer your weight, etc., the smoother you are with all of those things, the smoother you're able to connect all these corners up and link them all together, the more fluid you're going to be. The more fluid you are, the quicker you are. Another tip I gave the other day when in tandems and stuff like that is not to watch the person that is directly in front of you all the time. I mean, you still need to, especially for getting your pacing and distance and stuff like that. But really you should also be watching the person in front of the person that is in front of you. So always look a car ahead and 2 cars ahead too if you are in the middle of a train. Right now we're just behind Mom right now, so I'm only have Mom to go off of. I am going to do my best to follow his line and angle and stuff like that, but whenever you get in tandem with somebody, whenever you, like, tandeming is when 2 are 1. So like, we could be drifting really closely behind them. Like right now, we are not in tandem. We are drifting pretty close. We have pretty close proximity, but I am not tandeming with Mom right now. I'm just drifting here on Daikoku, and I happen to be like tailgating Mom basically. But if we were to get in tandem with them, we have to match his line, his speed, his angle, just like we did from that corner. Basically, I need to be able to predict what Mom is about to do. And it helps a lot if you're able to understand and control your own car. So once you're able to control how you speed up and slow down and stuff like that, how you because okay, just slowing down, I can think of like 3 or 4 different ways of just slowing down. So you can apply your foot brake, which we will do like this. This is what that will look like. Slows down front and rear, keeps the car kind of in check. Shouldn't change your angle much, you should just literally be slowing down. You could apply your handbrake, which is only going to brake your rear wheels, and probably going to lock them up at that, unless you have your brake pressure really weird or something. Yeah, it's only going to slow down your rear wheels, so your front wheels are going to stay gripped up. You're going to lose grip in the rear when you use the handbrake. So you're going to be able to turn, but the rear end of your car is going to slide out. That's why people with high horsepower love cranking that handbrake, because they need all the help they can getting the rear end out for some reason. But when you're doing low horsepower stuff like that, and even when you're doing like really fluid motion drifting stuff like this, half the time you don't need the brake, you don't need to foot brake, you don't need the handbrake. Reason is, the third way to slow down is simply adding angle, letting off the gas or not letting off the gas, and just simply giving your car some angle. You will not be applying power to the rear wheels in the direction of travel. And what that means is, yeah, physics comes into play. You lose grip going forward, which means you are not accelerating forward. Yeah. The other way to slow down is hitting something in front of you, I guess. I can't think of another way. We usually close on Daikoku. In fact, it is 1:30. I was thinking about ending the stream now. I will be streaming again tomorrow. Maybe we can hit up some Mayhan. It's been a while since we've been to Mayhan as a server. Oh, thanks for the follow, Lost Forms. Hope you're able to use some of that tuning advice to your advantage. Hopefully, Beans. Hopefully, some of that was helpful for you as well. I know you're struggling with grip right now. Is your big thing? You definitely have power. You should not be slower than our cars. The issue is your tires and your grip are not letting you be as fast as our cars. They're not letting you use all your power. You've got like 500 or so, I'm guessing. I can't remember. You have 400 horsepower, but you probably aren't able to use 400 horsepower. Who knows how much horsepower you're actually able to put onto the ground. A car with 300 horsepower that can use all 300 horsepower during a corner is going to be significantly faster than a guy that rented a supercar with 1,000 horsepower and can barely do a corner. I think I got it somewhat. Can we do 2 runs? See if I can follow Nowish. Yeah, sure. In fact, let me follow you. Where are you? Oh, there you are. I can give you a much better analysis if I'm behind you. God, I am like really getting sick. Oh, you want to follow me? Well, let's wait for red. Okay, let's see. Also, another thing, if you're just slower, it also could be as simple as your line theory. Just like how you're entering a corner and where, when, how hard, how much angle, how much speed, etc. Like right off the bat, I can tell this car is much smoother, and the reason for that is because you're not just spinning the wheels like crazy and banging rev limiter or something like that and having inconsistent power to the ground, to your wheels, which go to the ground. So yeah, your goal is always to be as smooth and fluid as possible, and through this fluidity you can always add aggression with wide angle kits and stuff like that, and you will be a significantly better driver than you were before. When you're able to accurately guess and estimate where your car is going to go, how it's going to handle, how it's going to behave over a certain bump, how it's going to behave over a certain corner, etc. If you're able to really get dialed in with all of your cars like that, like for example, this S15, I made this S15 at a viewer's request. I believe it was DGR. He was having some trouble with an S15. I was like, fuck it, I can make an S15 on stream. We tuned this car entirely on stream, guys. Like, this is possible. In fact, we've pretty much, we've entered this car into a comp for next weekend. So the tune here is set. This is our official Stage 1 S15 tune, finalized, stamped, and sealed.